Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Today we'll discuss how basically how we are also going to manage the entitlement hazard right. It's like we'll have some of the entitlement in our target system, right? First, before jumping into your hand titled part right, let's discuss about, because entitlement will be coming into the second part. First part was like, we are managing the user purely. It is like a trusted source or the trusted icon or the authoritative source. We are bringing the user to our access now or Saviynt. From Saviynt right, we are will be provisioning the user to the target system. Here we will have two target system right. We had already one target system, was there right? That is our database target system right. Where we are provisioning the user and managing the user. The same way, right? We'll also leverage this Active Directory for provisioning concept actually. If this is your Saviynt environment, right? If this is your Saviynt environment, here as a MS or trusted source, we have integrated your Active Directory, that is your AD. Through this Active Directory, right, through the user input, we are bringing back your user information to Saviynt. And we call it as user import or trusted icon. Or we used to call it as authoritative source right. Through the authoritative source, we are bringing your user information to Saviynt. Now we'll see right how you are going to leverage right your provisioning part. Basically, how we are going to create the user from your Saviynt to this target Active Directory. This Active Directory right, it can be integrated in a different way. It can act as an active user, signed computer, for different purposes, right? We discussed, right, this Active Directory, we can consume it, right? For a managed application. Managed application in the sense, all the user, whatever we are creating, the user, right, the user who will be present in your target AD, will manage those user, will bring those users or account information to your Saviynt. And from Saviynt, will manage the life cycle of the user. Same way we can use this directly, right? For the concept of here, for authentication or like an authorization purpose also, and to give certain access to the application. What happened or what is in the real time, how this Active Directory they used to manage, right? If you talk about authentication or authorization purpose, right? Let's say I have a small application, right? This small application. It is kind of a permit application, where the user required access to this application to perform certain tasks. These applications, right, user is using to perform certain tasks. As there is no authentication mechanism, right, for you to get access to this application, company decided, right, a permitted role. Let's say a permitted role. In this Active Directory, right, you will have a permitted role. If X user has access to this permitted role, right, then only they will be able to request for this for permitted application. Otherwise, they cannot request the access for this permitted application. How these things are going to configure, right? It's very simple. You should have a role, all you know. We call it as entitlement or role also, right? Those roles. It will be present in your Active Directory. This permitted role, right, before provisioning the user to this permitted application. There is a way authentication check is to happen. If I will raise a request for X, Y, Z user right for this application. First, it will validate, right, if I have that permitted role. If that permitted role I do not have, then right, I won't be able to see this permitted application. I cannot see the application, right, that thing, right. You can, it is configurable in your endpoint access query, right, where you can configure that, right. When I say this permitted role of this Active Directory, this role, right, again I'm talking, this is a role or entitlement. This entitlement XYZ user have, right, then only he can request for this one. How you gonna verify that if the user is present or not, right? If you want to have an entitlement of this Active Directory, right, that permitted role, first you should have an account of your XYZ user, right? That is AD account the user should have. And under this AD account, he should have a role. This permitted role, right, these conditions you can mention in your permitted application itself. This application access query, right, that is in the endpoint you have access query, basically. This access query, you can leverage it to validate. If this user has this application or any user, in this access query you will be mentioning, right, that if the user has access to this app permit role, then you will be able to access this different condition also we can pass it here. For this permitted application to access it, this is just an example, right, where we are telling the user if he is authorized to get access to this permitted application or not. How we are getting authorization? This authorization is happening through this Active Directory application. There is a many purpose for this Active Directory application which is using in your real-time scenario on real life. It is one of them. Even for your SO purpose also they leverage this active. That is a separate thing. Our focus will be in provisioning this Active Directory application to any user. For provisioning purpose, right, we discuss what are the things we required. If you want to provision a user, provisioning purpose, right, for provisioning purpose, what are the things we required? If you wanted to have a provision, what we have seen. We have to go to ARs, right? We have to search the application, right? Once you search the application, let's say AD, after that we are submitting this application and it is generating a task for us, right? Using this task, right, through the drive job, we are processing it. Finally, the account is getting created in your Active Directory application. What the thing involved here? I need to first go to RS, right, and request for this AD application. If you want to have this AD application requestable, that means you are requesting for an endpoint always. Remember, if you go to your RS and try to search any application, right, that application, the name it is endpoint. We discuss right. What is endpoint and what is your security system, right? We have to build up a endpoint, right? This endpoint, which will be residing under your secure. But remember one thing, through this endpoint or this security system, right, what we call it, it is not complete without your connection, right? In the connection only, I am going to mention, right, what will be my parameter or the validation data which I am going to send to this target application. If I go to provision, for provisioning ARs and submit the ADs in between, it is going to ask me, what is the user or who is the user for whom you are trying to request for this AD application. That user information, right, I am going to pass that the account would be created. How it is going to pass, right, in the same format we say yesterday, right? We will have a create account. Same, like we are discussing database. In this create account, we will have a mapping, right? In the mapping, it is like it will be right side. It will be containing your AD attribute. And in the left side will have your Saviynt attribute. This Saviynt attribute and with the AD attribute, I am, giving. I am telling that, this AD of Saviynt attribute of this value should go to AD attribute of this value. Let's say, I'll say like that. Saviynt first name, right? This first name attribute of savings should go to given attribute. Given name attribute of your. This is how I am going to, map things for my create account of Active Directory. Let's go to our Active Directory application and how we'll be doing the provisioning. I'm just refreshing the connection again. This is our Active Directory demo, right? And here, for provisioning purpose, you see this create account JSON, right? Basically, this creates account JSON. It will try to provision user in my target ID. These are the value, right, what I'm passing here basically. If you go to a document, right, this is a document. Just search for this, a active document. Go control left. Great. account right. Copy the name directly from here. Create an account in the target. Specify the value and create account JSON parameter. This is the syntax of the JSON and it is feeling right. It should be this way, right? It has all the just copy this value right. Copy up to down. After copy, take it back, right? I have a name. This was for your user input. Let me save this one first. I was giving. Right here, I will make user input. Then I will mention create a conversation and copy. These are the attribute right, which I'm leveraging right for your create account of your system. Basically, when I'm passing any value or trying to create an account in my ad, I should pass the value account x bar equal to 0. I'm basically telling the account is not x bar. This is a hard code value, right? If you see this common name right, basically, we are giving in a dollar symbol right. Why this dollar symbol right? Always remember, if you want to pass a right dynamic value, this is not a constant value, right? For dynamic value, it will always pass inside a dollar right. Dollar symbol will be there and the curly brace inside that right. You just pass the object name and the attribute. Which attribute should go to it, basically. I'm just giving the value of user country to my country attribute. These left attribute like C and your country. The department display name, employee id, employee number, employee type. All this attribute right. This is your attribute. And the mapping attribute of your right side, that is right. This value basically belongs to user table. From the user table right, all this employee id, display name, and department name, your email, and we are passing to your this corresponding attribute. What does this user? In Saviynt right. If you want to refer a table, if you remember in your Java concept right, wherever if you go to JavaNet, it work on an object-oriented principle. Anything is there, you have to call through the object name. Just for that right, we have been different many table defined inside your Saviynt. We have here for user holding user, we have user table. And similarly for holding your account information, we have account table. It is telling we have to use the user of to get the value of your user table even. What document right? What binding variable it is required? I think it should be somewhere it is placed. And we have already seen that right in our database integration. How you know what all other objects are allowed here? This document is not fully printed actually. That is why it's not showing the correct value. Let's validate if all this attribute for us, it is present in our target ad or not. Go to your Apache directory, write how you can open the connection. Simple. The connection will be already in close to some time. You have to just open the Apache directory. Here right click. Open connection right. Once you open the connection, just expand this right. If you wanted to search any user, because in the real time you will have a lot of user here, in the might be the n equal to user or cnn equal to computer. How you gonna refer any user? Let's say if I want to refer this user Kevin Shan. For this reference of this user, simple. You should have the some account name with you, right? How you gonna search here? Go to here, right click. Do a quick search. Click or else. Select it. Press Ctrl. +X, this search window will open for you. Just in the filter select everything and type S. That is some account name. Hit enter. Give a simple symbol and give your some account name and search it. Wherever the record is right, it will give you and it will tell you where this user is coming. Basically, this user is coming. Kevin Shan, it is coming from your base domain or this. You know that is for your from Chimbicambin. And it is under your root directory that is cnn equal to user. Click here. And the user will open right. We have the user detail. Now we will gonna search. All this attribute, it is present for us or not. Copy this account expire. Let's type it here, right? Or it is not aligned, type manually. Account expire. It is there for us, right? Again, check for the scene value. Is scene is there or not? We have. Then go. Basically, we do not have the co-attribute, right? We are not gonna pass this attribute right. I will show you also how you can place your condition right. If the attribute is not there, it should pass a if-else condition. The condition should be, you have to write a statement if user country equal to null. Then you have to pass a null value or simple normal like a random value. Or a constant value also you can pass it. Simple leave it as of now. Go to the department attribute right. Uncheck whether the department is there or not. We are not leveraging the department attribute right. The display name, for sure it will be there, right? We have the display name. Employee ID also will be there. I believe employee ID also. It is not there for us. Employee number. A bit like employee type. Ideally, employee type should be there. But we won't be considering this employee type. Basically, you can pass what is your employee type, whether that is employee or a contractor. Those information we can pass it. Leave it like that and don't consider it. First name will be taken right. We have our given name attribute, which is there, and user is our city. Basically, I'm passing to this L attribute. L attribute, keep it like that. We'll be passing a city from our side. Let's see. We have the email attribute right. Search for a mail. It is not there. but we'll be passing email attribute because we have asked in our user input to auto-generate an email, right? Mail attribute is there and display name. It is going to your name attribute. Here, it should be there. Name attribute. Object class. This object class, it is always, it is up to your target Active Directory. If you go open right, for this user, there is no, it should be there at least. Object class. Organization person top user. These are the object class. Basically what object classes give what it is, in your target Active Directory right here. To differentiate between user or to have a class for the user, we basically refer, using the object class. How this a simple example would be, right? If a student is studying in your 8th class or 9th class or 7th class, right? What is their object class? Basically their object class is 8. That means they are studying in the 8th class. In your Active Directory, some of the default or this object class would be top and person. Any user here? Actually how this is, scattered here. It should be like something like this. The object class. It will be like your top will be here, right? Under that, you will have your object, right? You will have your person, and let's say under person, you have created other object class that is Taylor's nobility. Person, I'm just giving example. And you have a different object class also. Let's say, demo. Person. If you want to specifically put a user or you want to give the access only to the, not this domain or not this object class, only want to provision the user here to the domain person. You can mention while provisioning happening right in our this document. Most of user whoever created, actually they will have like this object class that you can define here that the user won't be created under this one. It will be created on this one only. Different user criteria is there. That is how we used to manage Active Directory. This Active Directory object class is a compulsory attribute. Without object class, you cannot store a user in your Active Directory. This is how something like without a class you cannot admit a student in your syllabus or in a school, right? They must have a class that is defined for them. The same way, object class will be right. It is mandatory. It is not mandatory that all the object class should be there. For the user, it is specific. This object class information, it is always, sent by your organization or your business requirement. How they have scattered these things, it will be not known for us because this Active Directory application, it will be managed by your administrator or a different application team. Who is owning this application? It is their responsibility, right, to implement this object class. And what will? Your custom object class should be here that I showed like tellers person or demo person. It will be mentioned by your application team and they will be giving you all the object class information, right? And you will be using those object class to provision the user. We are here. The object class, right, basically this attribute. How you gonna search if you go here and if you type object class, right, it will be showing for you all the subject class it available for this user. For this Queen user, if you go back, physical delivery office name, we are not passing any office name, delete it. Manager. At least we should pass the manager in the real time. This manager attribute, it should be there. And why it is not coming from user, why it is coming from manager account. There is a separate story, right? I have also seen in my cases, if I directly user object for the manager, right, user.manager instead of manager account. What is happening? Sometime this manager attribute, it will go blank for you. Because let's say there is a user, let's say Quinn, has a manager. Let's say under an object class. Say if you provision to the attribute and if you don't specify that object class in that list, right, in the configuration list, does the provisioning fail? It will be fail. For sure it will be fail. If the object class, whatever referring to your attribute and everything, if you do not provide that, right, that is going to fail for you. And you can find that clear information, right, in your log when you are doing a provisioning, which all attribute are mandatory for you and which all is not mandatory, right? That is already defined by your application name. These are the default attribute or the default object class which is available in our system. We are seeing, but if any attribute or any object class which is mentioned as mandatory for this attribute, right, if you are not passing that, it will fail for you. I will tell you scenario, right? We are passing the organization. Let's say this organization person we are passing, right, in our cases. It is not exactly the case. It's a small case for us. This time also, right, it is failing for us. Because they have mentioned like our object class should be camel case. It is exact case. Not like small p or capital O. That time also it will not fail. Even you are not passing the exact information here. How this happened? Sometime your legacy application will be there and your management team come with something and they updated this capital P to small p, but it did not inform you, right? If they inform you also, what about the existing user, right? The existing user still will have the capital P, which is already integrated or residing in your access now for them also. You need to have updated this object class, right? After that, only your update pass should happen, or else it will be failing for you. I think we passed the pass. We talked about the manager, right? I was just discussing about the manager attribute. Right. Why this manager account is required, not the user manager. Let's say there is a user, right? X user has a manager, right? Let's say, and this user has a manager. It is your Active Directory system in AD, right? Let's say your manager attribute. This, you are passing this information. Your access now. Some application, they required, right? Your manager attribute also should come. It should update your Active Directory because we have our target recon right. Through that, it also used to update in my access now right. You had a user in your AD. That is, this user account AD. This is also present here. Access, no doubt right, this user also present. Had a user PQR. This PQR user right. See, this PQR manager belongs to XYZ. All the time the recon is happening, it is bringing the information from your AD to access now. Let's say you wanted to have a provision your user LDAP on. I have a Microsoft LDAP, another application here, and I want to provision a user here. What I go ahead write? The same procedure I will go to access now. I will do a request, right? And I will add the card to LDAP and I will raise a request. The moment provisioning happening through the RBAC retrieve job, the PKR user right. See this was user manager got changed or updated to another value that is ABC. It's XE report to not PKR anymore. Just let God change the value right. This AD right in your real time. This AD also, it is in sync with your LDAP. This is 9 case. 9% cases possible, right? Your AD and DRLP will be in sync in your target system. To manage a better SSO purpose, they used to have a sync between them. Your AD and LDP. Once the XYZ, it was reporting to previously PQR. Now it is reporting to your ABC, right? This ABC XE manager is ABC now. And here also for this access, this user, right? Now this have the ABC manager. Manager information also got updated here. And the PQR is not there anymore. Whenever I will be trying to add any entitlement or prior to provision the user, right? Now what happened? I am trying to provision the user with XYZ with the manager PQR, but the manager PQR is not there anymore. This is like it happened. 4 to 5 chances is there. 4 to 5% chances is there where the error will occur because it won't find the true manager in your LDAP. The true manager is already changed for you. That is why, because I use referring the user manager for the user table user attribute of this XYZ. I am searching who is the manager and here right. Sync is up to come after 30 minutes. The sync will come right still to here. And here the old manager is still there. That is your PQR. And I am referring user manager that it is giving me the PQR. That is why instead of write user object, we should always refer manager account. What this manager account object? It is an object. We never in your target or anywhere. The manager is getting updated. It will capture this information immediately. Let's say I am the user XYZ. For me, who is the manager? My manager will change to PQR to ABs while provisioning. Instead of user table that is on access now, it will look into a lookup right that all kind of storage mechanism. That we can call it as lookup. That lookup, it will look that lookup. Name is manager account. And who's my manager? Manager will be audibly called change to ABC. For this XYZ, now it will try to provision this ABC user. And this is 100% true. Even we have many more issues right in the project. That is why we never refer here right. We never refer here user account ID. Right, user manager. Sorry, user manager, we never refer to that. We always refer manager account ID that you can have a profit information, right? This is how you pass the manager ID. Passport last hit. Right? I think this is not required for us. We are not going to pass. Or it is there. Let's have a check. It is there. But from this is a hardcode value you can see. You can see there is no dollar or there is no user. There is no manager. Right? It's a simple hardcode value. I'm sending it. That is fine. No time, some account name. This some account name. I am passing pass account name. Basically, I'm passing the account name of my. You know what account I'll be generating. Or you can also pass here simple thing like username. The username of the user it will hold and it will try to give the some account name. And this is your sen, that is your surname. We have already seen right sen, that is your surname. This is street. Stay street or state? I believe this is state. We are passing custom property 10. This remove it and street address. This also you can ignore any move and title. And this can be ignored. Once you move, that always remember when your actually would end and your bracket close right. The end comma should not be there. If you are adding a comma, I mean to say if you are adding a comma, that means some next line is there. If there is no next line, right, there should not be any comma. Otherwise it will throw it up. Now copy this, create a congestion, right, and come to your create a congestion. If you remember one more thing, right, let me open for a second my server manager. I don't know it. It is coming. Sometime because of memory, it is throwing error. This is your Active Directory user and computer. I'm here, right? If I try to create a user directly here, right in Active Directory, right, I am passing. Let's say I'm giving the user. Let's say you know some name and give some. The conduct and log. I'll give some deal. If I click on next, let's say I'm not mentioning any password, right? If you simple finish it, it will throw error. Because this user, right, it is telling the password must be there, right? I have to mention a default password also. That is fine, but at least one password I have to mention for each and every user. Then only indirectly in access Active Directory, it is allowing me to get the user. The same way, if you are trying to create a user, from your save windows, you need to pass a default password, right? And that's default password. We can set it using set random password. This password attribute is required. If you don't pass it, it will throw error for you. This is your one thing, that is we are giving create a conversation, right? And what should be my account name rule? Basically, if you see, I try to search this user, right? If you go back, right, let me search this user again. Right click, quick search. Search this user again. what format you are getting. If you see, the format it is coming like when the user is getting created. Just closely have a look. It is giving an equal to user.firstname, right? I am giving the first name here. I am giving me space. Again, I am passing the user last name, right? Then I am passing sen equal to user, dc equal to dc equal to second, right? This is for kev user. If you look for any other user also, you will find the same information, right? This is Dean, right? You see Dean equal to this value. If I will open another user, here also, see what is the Dean. This is not a correct user. Let me search a user, this user. Here also, if you see the distinguished name Dean, what I am passing, Cn equal to, this is your first name and this is your last name, right? And all other information are same. This way we have to pass our account name. Basically, I will be telling my ad where my account should be getting created. Is this should be users or this should be sen equal to computers? Right, we have this sen equal to user. Here I want to create the user or sen equal to system or kin equal to computers. Where I want to create the user, that information we have to pass it, right? If I will go back and copy this distinguished name, I will go here. Simply I am putting it here, what name I am giving here, right, keen equal to this. And I should pass the name like here, right? Something like this, user first name, right? This should be user last name. Last name, all other information should be same for me, right? Just this is what attribute. Account name rule, right? Search for account name rule. Account name rule, right? You see on what basis they are telling here, right? You can define that a link equal to user's first name, user last name, scene equal to DC or this format, right? This is the format or this way they are telling to use it, right? If you open the document also, right, you will find the account name rule. How they are providing? Right. Specifying the account name rule. If you scroll down, see the account name rule. They are given a different phase there. They are using the user.username also. They are passing some time or they are passing the site. This ripple has separated means it is a or condition, right? That means you can also specify multiple account name rule. In the real time, it is not only that your user always should get created in scene and equal to user, no, right? This is not true. Sometime your users should also get created instead of n equal to user, scene equal to computer, right? Or can equal to a, scene equal to employee. There is a sense, right? That is why you can mention multiple account name rule, just you have to separate between them. How you are writing or B. This has triple S symbol. It will let you know that this is a OR condition. Either this or this. Whoever is matching right, it will pass that account name rule, right? If you want to have a complex rule also, right? How you can leverage that? That is also they have given, right? This also you can use it. In our cases, right, we'll have the simple account name rule. We'll be mentioning like this. Up to this value. This is your backspace, right? Here we'll just mention the dollar symbol again, right? Scene equal to user. First name, last name, scene n equal to user and is equal to scene equal to scene equal to scene equal to scene. Copy this value to your accounting rule and paste it. This would be my account number and save and test connection. The connection is successful. Close this connection, right? Connection is ready, right? Now, if you go to ARs, right, we are requesting for an endpoint. If you go to ARs, request access for any other user, request access for other right. If you choose any of the user right and in the next step, whatever information you see, select application right. This is basically your all the endpoint, right? Still, we have to create our endpoint right. What are you going to do? This is your connection name, right? Active Directory demo. Now let's create a connection also. Go. Sorry, let's get a security system and define an endpoint under that. Go to Identity Repository, create a security system. Action, create a security system. And the same name, I'll be giving that. What name? I have the connection. Active Directory demo right. Same display name. And here I'll be missing the provisioning connection. What is the provisioning connection? Active Directory demo. And this must have a ARS access workflow or access ARS workflow. If you do not provide any workflow here, right? Your application only visible here for requestability. You cannot view the application here. You must have a security system. Sorry, your access workflow. As of now, I'm giving auto approve workflow. How this auto approve workflow or the manager workflow? It is generated. We'll discuss that. As of now, I'm simply mentioning whatever requested will be generated. It should be auto approve. It shouldn't go to anyone for approval. Even for removal also, I'm mentioning auto approve. Now scroll down. Mark it as an automated provisioning right. And click here create. Once we click on the security system or create the security system right, we'll click again the security system right. Scroll down here or click here endpoint and go to action, create an endpoint. This endpoint name also, I'm giving the same name. And what is your security system? Our security system should be Active Directory demo. Active Directory demo. Once you give this information right, click on create. And if you scroll down here right, our endpoint is ready. We have to mention one thing here, right? That is your account name rule. Basically, if you see, I have also given an account name rule here. Account name rule here. And again, I am mentioning another account name rule here. Why to account name rule? This is only for your Active Directory. Always remember this account name rule right. It will come in the second time, first preference. Always it should go with this account name rule. If this account name doesn't match or it doesn't found, then it will go and it will try to, leverage this account name rule. Here, what is the name of the account I want to give? I want to give the account name as same as my username. whatever username I have right. The same username will be treated as my account name. And click on Save. Our account name rule is ready, now write. And just click on Update. Our Active Directory demo application is ready for taking in a request write. Now I will go to here. Write again, go to your ARS menu, click here. Click on Request Access for Other and take any user and click on Next. And type our application name here. This is Active Directory demo write. Click Add to Cart. Click on Checkout. And click on Next. Once you click on Next, write any of the comment, whatever in a feasible comment for you like. Access to the and click on Submit. The request is submitted right. Either you can copy the username or you can also view the request ID status here. Click on the View Status right. If you see, these are giving like, this is a new account request. You know what is your endpoint name? It is, and see we are requesting for endpoint. Endpoint name is Active Directory Demo and requested by this admin user. And when it is requested, it gives the information. And if you scroll down, the task name, it is auto approved. That means it doesn't require any approval. The task is approved. The request is approved. And once the request is approved, it's generate a task for us. Go to the second tab, Task. And what is the task? It is a new account, right? And who is the user? This is the user. And what is the application we are requesting? This is for Active Directory Demo write. As you discuss, you can simply copy the task ID. Process this one or write. You can directly go to the Job Control panel. Click on Utility. Open the repository job. Click Action Start. And you can give your security system name here. Active Directory Demo. And in the Show More option, we should choose what type of account. This is for new account. Before processing, let me keep the log ready. This is the reference system. And let's submit the request. The job started. Let's see how it is doing. The job has been stopped. Just let me grab the log. After grabbing the log or collecting the log, go to the bottom, scroll down, and you see who has retrieved job and write, where it started. If you scroll down right, total record processed 1. That means we provision only one user right. And what happened? If you scroll little above right, this is some of the default query. It is giving Scroll little above and here you see we have some error. What error it is giving? Cannot get a property account ID on null object. It threw error while creating account ID in. ID cannot get a property of account ID on null object. Somehow it is telling the account ID, it is going blank for us. This is your binding variable, right? Also we are task scene n equal to this is your complete scene, right? It is giving account ID is null. What attribute we are passing here? This is referring to the name of the attribute. This is referring to your user accountable, not here. There is no attribute account ID actually. It will be like your application side is telling that this doesn't have account ID. If I copy this user right, any other information we have here? New account. Account name is this value. This is the task that is in. They are processing it. If I go to my pending task right, just copy the username. Go to pending task right. Come to the pending task, search for this user. And if you scroll right down right, property account ID, a null object, some of the attribute actually right. It is passing as a null for the user. If I go back right, what is the username here? Open this user. Go to show user. Reference this one. Open that user, whatever we are trying to process it right. Open this user. What parameter we are considering here? This is a hard code. No worries. Scene we are passing. Scene is no worries. Display name. Your display name is null already. That is one missing attribute just for our demo purpose. Let's fix the display name. And this should be this value. Or I will give only this value. One thing we fixed. What is the other variable right? Which is going blank. Given name right. False. And get of the user right. User dot. It has a no issue. The user has the email. And again the display name. And object class and manager we are passing. This is manager account right. And any other attribute. Last name is there right of the user. Last name is there. Username is definitely username is there right. Manage. CK if this user has a manager. Manager also blank right. If you try to assign the manager from here, that is not going to work. You should have a proper manager. How I can assign a manager? I will show that right. Once you pass the display name, click on update. I have the display name right. You can choose here, select and select any manager, but in the real time, sometime it won't pick the manager correctly right. You can either write a query and perform that. See, here I can select and submit. The manager will get submit right. Most of the time, it will not properly update your manager attribute. How are you going to define then? Simple. If I try to assign this manager right, I need the key of this user. Copy this key right now. Let me open a duplicate tab of this one and go to user. Give the username here. Click the user. Once you click the user, what is the user key here you see? This user key is simple to write. This is your user key. I can update this user as a manager. For this user, go to Job Control panel. In the utility menu, we have a custom query job. You see execute custom query. Just click on it. Already a job is there, or you can add a new job. That's not an issue. Click go to action. Right click start. Right? And it will ask a query for you. What is the query I can give? Up. Set. Manager equal. What is the manager value I'm trying to set here? The manager value is 2, right? Equal to user key equal to. For which user I'm trying? This is the user I'm trying. What is the user key here? Right, it is. Type a simple 12. Update users set manager equal to where user key equal to. Submit it. Check here. Does it update it properly? The manager came here, right? Even you can go here to a job new. And if you open this, you will see there is a success also. It is succeed, right? And click on this job. It will give the information what query you ran. My user have a proper display name. A manager proper manager activities there. What I can do now? Let me resubmit the request. This request, right? This always advisable whenever you are processing any request. Let's say this field right. Because you're manually or automatically, this is not going to process. It is always advisable to clear a provisioning comment. Why it is advisable? Because there is a retrieve system. See if the provisioning job. If the provisioning job is auto set to run every time, right? There is a threshold limit. Let's say for your active break area, you have mentioned threshold. First, for a failure account is to try 10 times. If it doesn't succeed right, it will fail, but it will get auto-complete. Means it won't be stay in pending state. It will go to completed task. And the no action will be taken and the task will get like an auto-complete. That is why, right, whenever you are, even, this is error outright. If I try to process the task, if I try to process this task, right, and the account suppose got created, but still there will be another provisioning comment, but the error comment will be there, right? That error comment will lead into or lead you into it. Different things. That means in your audit, it can be get capture right. There was error and the person who is there, right, they won't be able to understand why this error is there if there is error. How the account got processed right. Always it is advisable, right? You can clear the provisioning comment. How you can clear the provisioning comment, right? I just wanted to show you the use of the custom query and different table. How to delete. That is the only motor, right? The spending task. Itself, it is a task, right? And the name is telling task. It is coming from your ARS task table, right? I can clear the provisioning comment. How you gonna clear? This is your task key. Actually, copy this task key. Go to job control panel, right? Again, go to job control panel. Open the custom query job. Click action. Click start, right? You can write another query. Up. ARS task, right? Provisioning comments. Check the spelling for row V provisioning comment, right? There is true or not. Provisioning comments. Better, you can copy this one and remove the space. Equal to null. Where task key equal to. Where task key equal to. Give the task ID here. And submit it. If this is error route, it will clearly show you. The job didn't run or there is error. It will show you. Custom job, right? Custom. Open this job. And scroll down right. You see it is succeed, right? Now if I go right or leave the error, comment was there, right? It would have cleared. Just hit enter and the provisioning comment is gone. Now, right? Now let's try to process the task again and see what happened. Go to job control panel again. In the utility, scroll down. Click on the double S feature again and start it. Give Active Directory demo. Show more option. New account, write and submit it. This is the job I run. Click here, right. Get the log, right. Scroll down and see if you have any error or it process. Let's go down, right. As usual, it ended here. Scroll little up, right. This is your some of the default queries is trying to run. I think again it got error out, right. Some error is open. I think still it is throwing the account id error on null object. Some value still it is showing is a null for me. Let's scroll level. Where it started actually. Let's scroll down to 6. This is your UI thing. Does the job name? It was 6, right? Let's see where the 6 started. Oh, the multiple is 7, 6. Somewhere it start here only. And it try to process, right. Security system list. It is getting the list. After that, it is coming here. User task list is coming here. This is JSON. Security system, it got Valence JPAD is all this information it is getting. And security map also it got right after that. Nothing like that. Let's scroll down. Calling create account Gulda with security system, Active Directory. What value I have given here? AD or LDAP, it should be AD, right? I believe some of the attribute. It is trying to map it. Search filter is, I have given that is trying. Object filter, I have not given, that is fine. It try to remove the manager and see. I am guessing the manager should be present in AD. Oh, the manager is, I think, fine. I think it is still asking some of the information still. We will seek that. Account name will be fine. Seek for uniqueness that is not required now. Fandom password, we have given right. Group search based in. We are not passing any group. This is not coming into picture. I think status threshold config. I am missing that attribute. This is your status threshold config, right? Set default page status is also not required. Let's give a try that and see what else other things can be possible. I just wanted to see in the JSON whether anything going blank or binding map is right. You see. And see the manager account, still it is going null. You see. Still it is telling the manager account is null for us. It is not able to find the manager. You are correct. It's not able to cope up with the manager. If my case is, let's see if I give instead of manager.manager account if there isn't find. Maybe this is little older version, that's why it is not accepting. I will give user.manager. We have an attribute for manager. User.manager, if I give that, let's see how it responds, whether it is returning many manager for us or not. Here we need to throw the error null out of Java, your printer error. Let me go here. And it is our create account JSON. Delete this, paste this one. And let it is successful right now. Let me clear the provisioning comment as well, right? Copy this. ID go to job control panel, open your custom creature, click on action start. Read the query. Update here is pass set. Within comments. It could have known where task key equal to. Copy and give the center and submit it. It would have cleared now. Let's process the task again and see. Start. Even sometime, I don't think there is a problem with attribute because the manager, if you try to update from the UI right or something, Using this has a lot of research. That is why I never leverage with this attribute. Let's see. If still it through error, then we'll ignore that attribute. And new account. And submit it. Thank you. Hit the log now. This time cost calc 9. But then this is a 10-9. Let's see where it started. Oh, constant attribute type manager. Still, it is not able to leverage the manager. I think it's not able to find the manager ID. Yes, this is. Basically, this is not the issue. With your formula, let's not pick the manager at the root atom. We just update the manager ID to some other user. Updating also, that's a problem. The manager information always should come from the target, the formula. Send this user ID to any other user. By my code name at. Basically, when you try to say, yes, basically, but that user still didn't came. We didn't run the Active Directory right. We have the user, then we can definitely. Let me give this Quinn right. What is the Quinn user? Quinn Swan right. Let me search the Quinn user first. The username itself is Quinn Swan. I have this. And update it. These have the some code name, everything right. Let me refresh this one. Instead of this attribute, no, I think the user ID manager is correct only. It fetched the value before. That is fine. But we should always go further, manager account. How it should be. Or let's see if you were trying to give the user manager. That's fine, but in the real time that will have the problem. Let me scroll down where the create account is there, right? Use username. Save and test it. Let me run the job itself. Let's see, got the lock. It is 1 and 4. I believe still we have the manager. Create account. And this is manager having the problem. It's not able to leverage that attribute automatically here. See, manager account state is going none. That is why if you try to update any manager here, right? It is not able to update in your manager account property. Basically, what if I am updating the manager, right? This is all. The information is coming from user table, right? It is updating only your users table, not the actual manager lookup or manager account lookup. That is why a manager always should come right. It is never created or never assigned here in access now. It's always from your user import only, wherever you are getting the proper user information. In my creator call, just let it write. Simple leverage this attribute manager. Now if I try that, let me see what happened. And 3. The job where had you started up and create a congestion is turning right here, and new account completing task. Account is not critical. You see the attribute. Problem with the manager itself only. It is always that is right. Whenever the import happen, actually not only the manager value it way into your user table. It also store in your manager account object or that lookup. Whatever that is the inbuilt lookup. If we try to manually also assign any manager here, that's not going to work. Because here, if you update, simply write. It is storing in your user table, not it is facing from your manager account object. If I go back to the account, right, I can see the user got created here. And if you come back here also, it should be there. What is the name right here? Money9968, that is your account name. If I refresh this menu, right click, reload entry right. And if I expand it, Is that yours now? $68, right? Let me find what was his name, right? First name was Marian, right? Something like that. This is the user. And your 7 is Yulalo99768. Yes, this is the user and it got created. That is the thing in the real-time scenario, right? Because as you said, like you were passing, though the user is already present here, right? It is failing in the validation itself. It is not trying to reach to your edit target system unless it reach here. It doesn't know actually whether my manager present here. It doesn't bother about that. While I'm submitting the request itself, right? In the validation condition, it was failing. From here only, it is not able to pick the manager at value. Once it picked and it tried to reach target system, then only the picture will come right. That is why, right, it is completely failing for the manager attribute and it was not able to create. But it is always advisable, right, in your real-time scenario, the manager who are present here, they should be uploaded first to your saving system or your access now, right? Then only your user things will come to picture. If you have weird or hard about your OM system, right? How used to leverage there for uploading your manager who used to do a separate thing. First, your manager should present right whenever user any request sending a request. That request, it should go to approval for the manager. If the manager first, it is not present. Then obviously the request is gone. I know it is failed, right? It won't be able to, or it will go to assign to your admin user itself. That is for today itself. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.